Hey guys, Creator Mom. So, I used to go to church a lot, over 10 years ago when I first came into my awareness of God and what we call being born again, born of the Spirit. It's funny, as soon as I said that, I choose life, I don't know, I think, anyways, whatever. So, anyways, a little SUV with choose life sticker came right up on the side of me. But anyways, yeah, I used to go to church, every week, one Wednesday, do the homeless ministry and all kinds of things. But I felt like I had an understanding that, like, just because I was going to this church didn't mean this church owned me, you know what I mean? Anyways, there was this one guy who used to come there, and he was very free, and he used to go hop from church to church, like, he didn't really always come to our church, but he visited sometimes when he felt like it. He said when he was moved by the Spirit, he would come visit our church. And at that time, because I was under the doctrine of that church I was going to, they believed that if you don't go to one church and you kind of like church hop, that means that, like, you're spiritually, like, inconsistent in a way. You're disobedient, you're kind of like disobedient. You should be planted at one church, shit like that. So I was open to this guy, but, like, I also had that in the back of my mind, like, about him. And I remember one day we were walking out of church, and it was cool. Like, it was a good moment. We were all, like, in high praise and shit, and it was, like, really awesome. And then, we were all, like, just being, like, drunk in the Spirit and stuff. And so, we walk out of church, and this guy goes, he goes, you don't have to give to the church. Like, you can give wherever you want to. You can sow wherever you want to, your seed. You know what I'm saying? And I just thought, oh my God, like, in my head, I was thinking, that's wrong, that's just wrong. Because, of course, you're taught you got to tithe to your local church. And, you got to be planted at your church so you can tithe to them, give to them, etc., etc. So, but my mind was still open. So anyways, fast forward 14 years or whatever, and come to find out that I'm learning about, I don't go to a church anymore, anything like that. I don't tithe to a church, but I'm reading a lot about wealth principles, financial principles, and one thing that I've been reading across the board is always pay yourself, right? This one book I'm reading said, pay yourself 10% of everything that you earn, always pay yourself. Kind of like the idea of a savings. So always save a portion of the money. Like, it's called paying yourself, which I love. I love that idea. Pay yourself the 10%. And I'm like, that makes so much sense, because I think in the church, we're promised that if we give to the church, that God will give to us, right? Like, if we give to their mission, which is God's mission, that we will be taken care of. But how many times do we see people struggle financially that are in the church? And I don't know, man, like, that's pretty much it. I mean, you see people struggle financially, they're giving and giving, and they still struggle financially. They're still poor, living in poverty, you know what I mean? And it's just like, they keep us hanging on a carrot line, like, don't give up, just keep sowing, you're gonna see your breakthrough. And sure, you will see breakthrough if you believe you're going to see breakthrough in your life and stuff like that. But I was just thinking about how much more beneficial would it be if we actually paid ourselves that 10%. If we're one with God, we are God, one with God, why wouldn't we pay ourselves that 10%? You know what I mean? Tithe to yourself. You are the house of God. Tithe to yourself. And give wherever you feel led to give. If you want to give to a church or give to a whatever, a whoever, then give to that. I read this book called Happy Money, and I love that. And that's what I do. I leave my happy money wherever I want, or do whatever I want with my happy money that I've set aside. That's because when the money is given and the person receives it, if it's spontaneous, sometimes, leaving money places, letting people find it, the energy builds on that money, and it's given back, whatever, just like sewing shit. But it's It's called Happy Money. It's a book called Happy Money. Read it if you want to. It's fun. And then Tim Grimes has a book called Money Your Friend, which is also a really nice book. But yeah, this whole 10%, give that 10% to yourself, put it away for yourself, and then, you know, give your little bit, a happy money wherever you want to, you know. And the funny thing is that people think, oh, I make so little, I can't pay myself 10%. But the principle says, you'll be surprised. You think you're going to miss money, but actually money will start accumulating and you'll like gain up a more of a momentum and speed with money. So yeah, let's pay ourselves the 10%. I don't know. Give to the church if you want, but don't commit that. I don't know. I'm speaking blasphemies, but pay yourself the 10%. I don't know. Pay the church 10% and pay yourself 10%. I don't know. Just pay yourself 10%. I think that's my opinion.